It's Gueuze time on Pissdrinker. Geuze Boon from Frank Boon's Lembeek producing brewery. This one is 7% alcohol, and it's the ancient style of spontaneously fermented lambic beers where they age them in oak and just let the natural yeast that exist in there ferment the beer for years and then blend them after a couple of years. This says aged 2 years in oak vats, re-fermented in the bottle, so it's bottle conditioned, and usually these Gueuzes are very dry, very funky, pretty sour, very oaky, and this one they say is from the 2011 and 12 brewing season, so I believe that's when the wort was made and the whole fermentation started, and they let it ferment like 2 years, and then they put it in the bottle, and then it re-ferment in the bottle. So this is actually, was probably bottled, 2 years ago or something like that. And it's a little bit stronger for a Gueuze. It's 7% alcohol, and I've had this one before a couple of years ago when I was first trying out the Gueuzes that were available to myself. I don't really remember too much about it. But it's one of the cheaper ones, so more of an introductory one. I don't think it's going to be ridiculously sour, like a Cantillon. And it says best before end 2033, so usually it's 20 years, so yeah, then it probably, it's about 2 years old, because it would have been bottled in 2013, and there's a good amount of haze and things getting kicked up, so it might be rather carbonated. I stuffed the cork in there really well. Oop, nice pop. It's a nice funky diaper urine aroma coming out of there already. Very, very golden. Perfectly carbonated. Looks like a hazy IPA, kind of maybe a little darker from some aging in there. That's so much lemon, fresh herbs, oak, some sort of funky, slightly, fermented, almost decomposed farm sort of things happening from a lot of Brettanomyces and Pediococcus. Big aroma, plenty of carbonation in this one. Not ridiculously carbonated. Let me get some more in there. But you can see, even for a beer that's very sour, it's got an ample head. Lots of oak, very, very dry, wet oak. Like, it smells like I could imagine just licking some oak where you squeeze some lemon over the top and maybe just a few drips of urine. It smells very fresh and refreshing, just with that hint of odd complexity that you really only get in Gueuzes. I noticed it a little bit in some other styles, but there's something special about that lambic yeast. Oh, so grainy and sharp, but light. Gives the high carbonation and the high amount of wheat they use in this. The body is just kind of heavenly, except it's really prickly. The acid is not too strong. I'm noticing a little bit of malt, and a little bit of some aged hop qualities. Well, there's like no heat for 7%. Very little acidic burn too. And a much lighter body than you think. It's not watery, as some people might say. but it's not like if you had a 7% IPA that looks something like this, that would probably have a lot more body. This is very well made. It's keeping a nice little cap of foam on top, which a lot of sour beers and oak aged beers struggle to deal with that because of the acidity and the tannic levels. But the Gueuze is like one of my favorite styles of beer, if not my favorite style, and this is living up to that style. You can't get any true Gueuze that hasn't been, sweetened or had added flavorings or something weird done to it. That's going to be bad. Anything that is a real traditional Gueuze should be a fantastic experience. And this one is probably one of the least remarkable of all the lambics, especially the ones that are available in America and Belgium. But I've never even had a Cantillon, but those ones are just super dry and super, super sour, which is what's popular with people in America. There are plenty of sours in America that are way more sour than this, but this has a deeper, funky complexity that it's still refined in a way that doesn't have any flaws of too stemmy weed qualities or too vinegary or too oaky or too any of that. It's just masterfully blended, and that's what the Gueuze style is all about, is blending your lambic casks and being able to figure out what to do with one barrel that's too sweet, but might have a nice complex oaky flavor, but then another barrel that's ridiculously vinegary. And how they can make these beers that are years old. Like, the grain from this was originally started to be fermented in 2011, and it just smells ridiculously fresh right now, and is so invigorating. And just lemon and grass and oak, almost like a lemon chamomile tea with a little bit of vanilla in there, but not too tea-like. It's not too oaky. It gives you a little bit of cat tongue from those tannins sticking on your mouth, on your tongue, but it's not like having like overbrewed tea or anything like that. It's still got the nice cap of foam. And this bottle, it has a really perfect haze happening. There are only some really, really, really tiny chunks in there. And I believe that at least in New England, a shipment of the 2011-2012 Boon and Gueuze has just kind of ended up all over the place, even though last year the 2012-2013 brewing season one was all over the place. For some reason, there was this aged one, and it's definitely probably better. Now that it's aged, it's gotten drier. The carbonation level is up to this much. I can still tell there's just a tad bit of sweetness and still some unfermented barley flavors in there that I think you could probably, I know you could wait on this for 20 more years almost, and it would only get better. But in about 1 year, this will be a very, very special Gueuze for only, most places sell this bottle for $7. I think the fermented quality is almost, it reminds me of the smell of like some rotting piles of leaves in the forest a little bit. And that fresh, minerally rain. I don't really notice much salinity. Some lambic beers actually almost have a Gueuze quality finish. There's a tad bit of that, but it's nothing like the Hansen's artisanal. probably have to do 8.5 out of 10.